friends, it's UrsulasRevenge and happy Wednesday update day. Today we have a lot in the news, but nothing too crazy, so let's go through it. And actually, I'm going to immediately take that back because the first thing we're going to talk about is not actually in the news post itself, but it was shared on Instagram as part of their game update Instagram post. There have been some minor changes made to our home stable. They did mention that they would be tweaking it as they go, and they have made an update that was really jarring for a lot of us when it first came out, so let's go check that out. Basically, they made the lighting a little bit warmer. Before, it was a little bit darker, and I'd say like a little bit more blue, but they've kind of set it back to the more warm yellow light hues that we were used to in the original stable. Now up to the actual news post. There is a bazaar in town, so let's head over to Moorland and see what's on sale. Oh wow, they put a lot of them out on display. The horses that are on sale are the Morgan for 549 star coins, the Appaloosa for 499 star coins, the American Paint Horse for 499 star coins, and the Knobstrupper, which is available for 399 star coins. But as you can see, there are a lot more than those four breeds of horses available for sale, and that's because the apparently final round of app horses have been added to the game. So to be clear, the app horse coats that are available this week will be discounted, but next week will be available for full price moving forward for sale where the other horses of their breeds are sold. They'll just be added to their color offerings. In the news, they did confirm that all app horses are officially permanently found in Star Stable Online without needing to play the app to get them in the game, except for Texas Bluebell, which makes me sad. I was kind of holding out on getting Texas Bluebell in the app to move them over to the game because I didn't want them to start out at level 10, and right now that's the only way that you can actually get them in the app. Texas Bluebell used to be available in Star Stable Online, but then was removed and then placed on the Horses app and then removed from the Horses app and replaced on the Horses app. At this point, I don't know if you can still get Texas Bluebell on the app, but if you've already collected them in Star Stable Horses, I wouldn't see why you couldn't bring them to the game. I don't know. I have to test that out. Regardless, they won't be on sale. Next up in the news is an update about the Trailblazer track. This is the last week for Season 1 of the Trailblazer track, and we don't know when the next one is going to start and when it will become available. I have a feeling they're going to run their data from the poll or the survey that released last week that should still be available for anybody who hasn't completed it yet, and then make the adjustments as necessary before they release the next one. I'm curious to know if the Trailblazer track and the championship thing will kind of be like alternating seasonally, or if they will kind of pick one and move forward with it. I'm not actually sure, but I am curious to know. Hopefully we'll get to know in a soon-to-be blog post, maybe, Star Stable, please. We do know that we are getting a part 2 of the August blog post, because the first one released 2 weeks ago as part 1, so possibly by the end of this week when August actually ends, maybe Thursday or Friday, we'll get the blog post. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Okay, so moving on, we have a section called More Moorland, and there's been a couple of renovations around Moorland, so let's go check them out. Okay, so it doesn't seem like the outside of the circus has changed much. The abandoned farm on No More Thailand seems to also not have been changed. But let's take a peek inside the circus. Oh, I think we've got texture updates in the circus. These wall panels look a little bit more high def. Up towards the top, it doesn't look to be changed much. Oh, the bunting has changed though. The bunting is definitely more updated. I think the color scheme's a little bit more purple in here. I want to say like these walls were like yellow before. The lighting does appear to be the same, and so does the fog, but it seems like we generally have some like nice texture changes, including like all these archways too. They've got like the HD wood that they've been using. And I see our mysterious patrons are also still here with their glowing Jawa eyes. Seriously, who are those people? Do we know? Are they like the council of like Pandoric magic users or something? They have like Avalon's hood and cloak and everything, but Keepers of Aideen aren't really related to Ydris. Unless that's why Avalon has his cloak, not because he's a Keeper of Aideen, but because he's like one of the Pandoric Council, especially after what happened to his brother. Interesting. Do these still look the same? Symbol's the same. And the hoop's the same. It looks like it's definitely not as round as some other round textures in this game. Alright, so we've got some new textures in the circus itself. I was actually going to say something about how neither of the updates under More Moorland being in Moorland, except that I didn't realize that Moorland expands all the way past Doyle's Abbey. Like when you get over here, it becomes a Thorn Rocks because that's where the beach is. But I did not realize that the Moorland was all the way this far. Like, talk about generational wealth, Mr. Moorland. Anyway, the other update that we have that is apparently still in Moorland, although it has changed to Pony Point now, is there has been an update to Penny and Polly's pony race. So that's why I got Windbreak here, so we can test out and see what's different. So the track itself and the music, I believe, are the same. Here's the side-by-side comparison for reference. And finally in the news, we have the next horse retirement. The Generation 2 English Thoroughbreds will be leaving on October 23rd for greater pastures, which is to say they will no longer be available for purchase. So if you need a Generation 2 English Thoroughbred in your life, you've got 2 months to get them before they are permanently retired. They will remain 400 star coins until October 23rd. So that is going to be it for this week's update. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video like this. I do try to cover every Wednesday update and more. Coming up next week, we have paddock props being added to Paddock Island, as well as the return of some beloved birthday horses. So we know that the Renaissance Festival part of the birthday event will only start on September 11th, so it looks like we're getting some early birthday stuff, possibly at Moorland, starting next week. So I'm wondering if the birthday event will be 4 weeks after all, but only 3 weeks for the Renaissance Festival. I'm interested. We won't know until the new roadmap comes out, which I'm hoping is tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Between the potential next step in Jorvik and the aforementioned promised blog, I think we'll have a lot to talk about this weekend. So I will see you then. Bye!